This next song is off the album Jamie Speak.
Right. Okay. If I talk too much, stop me. But a little context. Okay. In 1983, Depo Provera put out recorded a record called "Totally Useless" in Appleton, thanks to our kind benefactor who was named Brian Tresh. And this is the third cut on the first side of the LP. And it's called "Another Day."
Let's talk about drinking.
Shall we carry on? Hey, many of them. One, two, three, four. There's some more context, a footnote I had to add to that. Mark Hutch, some of you may have know him. He resides in Florida. He was the singer when we recorded that in 1983. We made our debut at Bowling Lanes, Northside Bowling Lanes in 1983. Hutch was our singer. As of 1985, Nora became our singer. We were supposed to change her name, but we never got around to it. And we continued on as Depo Provera until 1989.
Hutch is very much very in demand, because occasionally wanted by the state of Wisconsin. Anyway, this is a song we wrote for the Ramones via Chuck Barris. About somewhere akin to vintage. my glasses look cool? This is good because I don't have prescription eyewear on this and I can't read the fucking set list, so I have no idea what song comes next. So you're gonna have to deal with either brief periods of me not looking cool because I have to look at the set list and squint to see what it is, or I'm gonna have to change my eyewear to something that is more corrective. I think this is Don't Know Why, right? Or no?
You are correct.
Well, all right, this is a song about drinking.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you, clapping people. In my heart of hearts, I feel like we skipped a verse, but these people don't know the song, so it kind of mocks Nix, as somebody's German grandmother used to say. I'm going to take it. This song is actually not so much about drinking as it was about rocking. There are like 3 primary food groups in the Depo Provera song catalog. There are songs about drinking, there are songs about rocking. There's hybrids where there's songs about drinking and rocking. And then there's also songs about watching TV. We have all the main food groups covered.
And there's songs about robots.
Songs about robots? That's why I made the list of songs about robots for you, man, so you can start your robot-based band. We're going to stay in our lane. We're not going to do songs about robots, because none of us have any manner of expertise in robotics. We just stick to the 3 major food groups: songs about rocking, songs about drinking, and songs about watching TV. This song actually takes a little bit of an expansion. Are you tuned up? We're good? I believe this song is written by Mr. Yeah?
We have to mention the temperamental psychotic.
Well, yes, we do. The song is originally by... We got our banter down to a freaking science.
One more thing I'm going to shove. It's just context. I know it's boring, but for the historical record. Okay, Depo Provera stole this song from the Temperamental Psychotics. Temperamental Psychotics were Pat playing guitar and Donnie was the lead singer. They were around for a brief time in 1984. If you got a chance to see them, it was a real treat. They had kind of a quirky, surreal sense of humor. Later on, a lot of lesser bands like the Dead Milkmen really popularized this genre, and the art thieves were part of it too. We were trailblazers, and so it was called Funny Punk. You know, I had this stupid anyway. So I'm gonna stop, and we're gonna do Chips Ahoy.
This song is written by Pat and Donnie when they were smoking pot and watching TV. If you don't like smoking pot, just pretend it's about cookies.
And Donnie starts it. I'll give you an 8 count.
Hi, girl. The reference to Chips, the TV show, probably does not land as well in these, 17 decades later. Trust me, if you're too young to remember the TV show Chips, you are not missing anything. Other than the punk rock episode with Pain, where the person got stabbed in the ice pit in the mosh pit. Which of course set the stage for, about half a decade of people trying to stab each other in the pit with mosh pits because they saw it on Chips.
Oh, that was Quincy.
Oh yeah, that was Quincy. Shit, that's right, I'm confusing the punk rock episode of Quincy with the punk rock episode of Chips.
Mayhem. The band in Quincy was Mayhem.
The band on Chips was Pain. I dig pain, the feeling in my brain. Beginning, the total blood letting, yeah, I dig pain. And then Eric Estrada came out at the end and he sang, was it Celebrate Good Times, come on. Oh no, he sang Little Child off Meet the Beatles, for Christ's sakes. I don't know. Some sort of movie.
If only I could remember.
We didn't have DVD to show us these in reruns, we had to watch them as they were happening. This is, I just bit my cheek, that's gonna fuck up the rest of the set. That's alright, you can come and fight the other way if you like. This is a song about drinking and rocking. Drinking and rocking. And it was the title was stolen from a novelization by noted comics writer Elliot S. Magnin. And later this title was stolen by a band who named themselves after this song. It's called Last Sons of Krypton.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Part of me is I take another cheap squint at the set list. Alright, this isn't a song about rapping. This isn't a song about drinking. This isn't even necessarily a song about watching TV. This is a song about drinking and watching TV and then deciding you were so inspired by the TV, you're going to start rocking. It's from 1966. It is done by the most underrated girl group of our generation. And I think you know who I mean. That's right. Ginger, Marianne, and Mrs. Howard. The fucking honeybees. And like all their songs, I think it starts with the mellifluous guitar lines of Mr. James Boo Boo Shimon. Like a big dog. Thank you, honeybees fans. You know there's quite a lot of them. Honeybees are to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame probably for the same criteria that the Monkees are to the Hall of Fame, because they pretendably did not play their instruments. Which is an interesting qualification because that would immediately disqualify the Supremes, the Four Seasons, the Ronettes, and 2/13 of the Sgt. Pepper album. Never mind that. I gotta look at the set list. Jamie, say something informative.
Like you said.
I have always considered that song the absolute worst lyrics I have ever written in my life. I'd like to thank Mr. Pat Wanish for putting it on the set list. Good call, Pat. Exposing my philosophical weaknesses.
Nobody listens to the lyrics.
Yeah, it's a good thing too. You read some of those fucking lyrics? Especially the ones you read when you were 15. Like, yeah, fuck the world, I got this great song. It's kind of like talking about the Chancellor's wife on the radio. It seems like a good idea at the time, but perhaps in retrospect there could have been different choices made. Not that I would know anything about that type of thing. Deny everything. Wait, wrong step. Oh, is this the one where I use my gift from Drew? All right. It is. Hang on. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I was glad to see that the Bones recording artists, the Lighthounds, were on the film tonight. One of the cardinal rules of showbiz is that you should never follow animals, children, or the Lighthounds. But, I don't know. We live recklessly because we have nothing to lose. So it's not by us. I don't even know if it's about drinking.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Baby, I feel good. I'm fucking nothing JJ was a lot better at it because I think he has better vision. Maybe you just had more practice than I have. I never have used my camera reads this way, but since Drew gave that to me.
Okay, it's time for my comedy bit, okay? I rehearsed this.
All right.
I meant to sell raffle tickets and have a drawing for a door prize. I hope there's some beer can collectors out there. We're not going to bother with the raffle. This was sitting in the trunk of my car for 28 years, and I discovered it. Snatched it over to Billy and struck it down. And prized possession, and highly sought after, and it's all yours whoever's as a beer can collector out there.
I got a comedy bit here. This is tried and true. This is brought to my attention that this is something that perhaps I would have done like 2.5 decades ago. This involves crowd participation. P.S. If you know the words to this song, you can answer the question which I will pose to you. Feel free. Here we go. Give me an eye. 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 What's that spell? Wow. Kind of ironic we did that song, so a story just put up on my Facebook feed. I am 8 years sober today. Don't cheer, you're gonna give up the Provera concert. You should be doing us. Alright, this is our last song. Again, this is picked by Mr. Catwoman. I wrote these lyrics when I was mopping floors for a living at public service right across the river, which has now apparently become a haven for graffiti artists and other societal vermin, so they're carrying it now or some shit. Which makes you wonder why I had to mop all the fucking floors in the first place. So anyway, this song is about working, but working so you can get out and go drinking. And there's going to be some important tuning going on. Also, just as a moment of like, babbling and shit, I just want to point out that in the first 15 minutes of the show, on this very stage, I saw the lead vocalist of the first 3 punk bands I ever saw in my life together on this stage in the first 15 fucking minutes. Dan Dillon, Ed Guerrero, and Carl Kirschland. Those are the three first punk bands I saw with Adam, the Pirates, and Milton and the Popcorn. So that's like going to a show and maybe seeing Joey Ramone and Joe Strummer and Johnny Rotten all like getting up and singing during the third song or something. I don't know what your experience is like, but that was pretty freaking rocking. And all the other bands were great. Of course, from the Waltz, blah 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 blah. Of course, the Lakers, blah 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 blah. Of course, everybody, blah 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 blah. As Jim Baker says, I love you. Stealing my line. Stepping on my line.
Here's 4. Let's do this really out of key, please, because I don't want to do it out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
heart, Depo Provera.
You guys are pretty much these old guys today. One more time you want. North. I'm not an alcoholic. One more time because we're SUM, we force you guys to play rock and roll all night, 2 times in a row. So we have begged them, asked them to play I'm Not an Alcoholic one more time.
Are you going to get better if we play the second time? Well, fuck it, why not? It's a party. Let's play that song again.
It just happens we have a 55-minute version of Louie Louie for here.
All right, this is I'm not an alcoholic related He's very susceptible to peer pressure. He's also playing the same Fender Telecaster guitar he's been playing since I met him when he was 16 years old. Which was twice at least 10 years ago.
Sing along, do it like the Kingsmen. Not the Black Flag.
Everyone's coming on stage this time.
All right, then, see what you do. Well, I guess we don't need any freaking fancy pattern. Thank you very much. You're beautiful.